Hey, and welcome to my first episode on Vulpes Visual. Today I will be painting the Rifleman, a Battletech miniature from the Wolf's Dragoon's Assault Starbox. The paint scheme I'll be doing today is based off the Eagle's Talons, a group within the Free Worlds League of the Battletech universe. I'll be making a couple personal adjustments to their color scheme. I will first be priming this miniature with Army Painter Uniform Gray, then using a heavy dry brush of Star Wars Legion Fleet Trooper Gray, then a lighter dry brush using Army Painter Matte White. After priming, using Star Wars Legion Fleet Trooper Gray, I will be using a large makeup brush to apply a dry brushing method across most of the miniature to show where the sun will be hitting this battle mech, hitting the top areas and lightly hitting some of the undersides. Afterwards, I'm dry brushing again using Army Painter Matte White to dry brush the edges of the armor panels of this battle mech. There's a lot of these armor panels, and I want them to show. These will hopefully impact an upcoming speed paint step, and prevent some extra work having to be done. Moving on, I'll be using a mixture of speed paints from Army Painter, using 2 parts Maligan Green and 1 part Camo Cloak. The Eagle's Talons battle mechs use an army green color on their legs and forearms, with a brown camo pattern across it. This mech doesn't have forearms, so I'll just be painting one of its gun arms in this way. Now, I will be using contrast paints from Citadel on the torso and other gun arm, using a 3-part Volupus Pink mixture with 1 part Shyest Purple. I was unsatisfied with 1 coat, so I decided to apply a second. In this step, I'll be applying a couple metallic colors using Army Painter Gunmetal, Evil Chrome, and Vallejo's Gunmetal Blue. The plan here is to paint gunmetal over any of the guns, vents, and axles that are exposed from underneath this mech's armor. Finishing up the gunmetal, I'll be putting some wear and tear on this machine's metal. Using Evil Chrome, I'll lightly be applying it about halfway up the barrels and touching up the vents that have to keep this thing cool. Now at the tips of the gun barrels, gunmetal blue will really show the scarring of the heat. I'll be dry brushing using 2 parts Barrack Nar Burgundy, a Citadel paint, and 1 part Army Painter Pixie Pink. Because I used 2 coats of contrast paint on the torso, I lost some of the lighting underneath. I'll be reviving this using some dry brushing, starting with the lesser bright burgundy, working my way up with the pink to bring back the edges of the armor. Moving on to paint the cockpit glass, I'll be using a wet blend, using Army Painter Bone White, Demonic Yellow, and a Lava Orange. Starting with the Bone White as a base coat for the glass, I'll be coming back with a decently moist brush with Lava Orange, starting from the bottom left of the glass, pulling it up about halfway. Then while it's still wet, I'll apply a Demonic Yellow in the middle of the glass to create a smooth transition from orange to white. I'll be edge brushing using the previous colors I used to dry brush the burgundy to create the roll cage of the cockpit. Using a smaller brush, I just want enough paint in my brush that I can take the side of it along the edges of the cockpit where the roll cage would be, creating a small thin line. Now I'm going to attempt painting some camo on the green parts of the mech, using 2 parts Army Painter Dirt Splatter and 1 part Vallejo German Grey. Camo can be a bit strange to paint, but a good part is that there's not too much for guidelines, and allows for some freedom with the brush. For the Eagle's Talons though, the camo is a bit splotchy, and I just need to make sure not to overtake the green. Keeping my brush wet will help keep the paint looking smooth, and not too sharp in some points. After allowing the camo to dry for some time, I'm going to go over the green with Army Painter Moldy Wash to help the camo not look so flat, dirty the mech a little, and darken the green in general. You can choose to be as heavy or light with this step as you want. A heavy wash will result in a much dirtier looking mech, and a light wash will probably just be enough to make the camo not look so flat. After the wash dries, using Army Painter Monster Brown, I'm going to be using a edge highlighting method to help bring back light into the armor panels that had camo painted on them. This is a bit extra, but I'm going to add some free-handed decals using D&D series Army Painter Cold Flesh and Army Painter's Demonic Yellow. As this is a mech of the eagle's talons, I'm adding a small icon of an eagle's foot right here. Using Cold Flesh as a base for the Demonic Yellow, as yellow tends to struggle going on top of darker colors. And once again, I'm going to be using that burgundy and pink color mixture to fix any mistakes I make here. I'll be throwing on a digit for this mech for a factor of epic. And here's the mech. I did a bit of touch-up off the camera just to tidy up a bit. This Rifleman is going off to do some good work for the Eagle's Talons, delivering freedom wherever it lands. Of course, it's gonna need a lance to be there with him, but that'll have to be tackled later. I'll also be coming back to take care of his base. He needs some terrain. Should be helpful in showing off just how big he is. This was a fun project for me. Bit different painting the battle mech than it is your average 27mm scale miniature. You can expect a few more mechs getting pumped out of the factory soon. I hope this was entertaining or useful to you. I've yet to go pro, but I like to think that after a few years, and maybe have something to offer you. I have a hodgepodge collection of paints and hobby supplies, and I love experimenting different ways to paint. You can expect to see some fun projects come up here. Rebuilt battle mechs, loyal sci-fi soldiers, random folks from fantastic places, and whatever I pick up will get on here. Best part about tabletop games is painting the minis. It's a good time, and you should enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Until we meet again, don't let them stay gray.